Thank you for clicking that thumbnail over here, Pepe La View. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Welcome back, returning viewers. Welcome, new viewers, and you subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. I appreciate it. And to all of you, thank you for leaving comments. I definitely realize that I cannot do this without you. And we're sending out some good vibes over at Wendy Williams. I'm here to tell you, you guys, if you know me by now, you know that I just like Wendy Williams. I've always liked her since the beginning of her talk show, and so to Wendy Williams out there, how you doing? All right, Wendy, yes. How you doing? How you doing, Wendy? I hope you're doing good. Woo! Well, we're back talking about R&B divas. That's what I like to do. I like to talk about my divas. And I've been in my Miki Howard mood these past few days. That's why I haven't, talked about any R&B divas. And if you know me by now, then you know that whenever I talk about my R&B divas or my soul men, it has to resonate with me. I just can't just do it. I know I can. Like I can go in and, do all that thing, those things that people do, talk about them as an artist from the beginning to the, where they are right now and all that stuff. Like, okay, but to me, it bores me. I can, This here's personal to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's personal. It's personal. It's personal. I wish I had more in my collection. We'll talk about that in another video about, my collection and what really and truly happened to my collection. But anyway. So there I am just channeling my Miki Howard. I'm hearing the songs in my head. I'm like trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, Lord, what kind of angle can I, go about with Miki Howard? What does Miki Howard mean to me? Like, what is it? And the strangest thing occurred. And you know what happened? I heard a term and I was like, really? I was like, Lord, that can't. How does the two go together and what does that have to do with me? And it just kept coming up and I was like, you sure? And it just kept coming up. I was like, okay, Lord, it's what it is. Quiet Storm Radio. Okay? Quiet Storm Radio and Miki Howard and me. Well, if you know by now, then you know that 1989, 1990, is when music started, just all of the pieces of music, what we know that they do when it comes to this here started to come together for me. However, because I liked music so much and I was listening to music, well, my mother and now I guess you say stepfather, whatever, when they had people over to their house, of course, and they're playing, poker keno and, and they're, playing deuces and all that stuff, on a Friday night or a Saturday night, of course, music is being played. And instead of, sometimes going outside to play, guess what I was doing? And I was standing right there at the table, watching them play cards, and listening to them, that's what I was doing. And I was listening to the radio and listening to them play, talk and all that stuff and watching how they played the games and all of that stuff. And music was definitely played. And around that time, I just remember certain songs that I liked that stood out the most. I can remember songs my mother and her friends and family members, played. I remember those, but I'm talking about songs that stood out to me. And so during this time, I would listen to Quiet Storm Radio. And of course, you wait up until, what is it, about 11:59 or what have you, and then all of a sudden, you know, the rest of that night is going to be quiet storm music. It's going to be those slow songs, you know, by those artists, and it's going to be played throughout the night. And I would hear Come Share My Love, and I would hear Baby Be Mine. You know, I would stay up, you know, through the night, just lying in the bed, listening to the radio. And of course, you know, back then, you know, you can, of course, you know, my mother would have these cassettes, and I would put the cassette in the radio. And when I would hear my favorite song, I hit that record button. And that's how I got my music, you know, that I loved so much. And I could always, I knew every night I would hear Come Share My Love or Baby Be Mine. Miki Howard, to me, is quiet storm radio. Even though her biggest hits, Ain't Nobody Like You, number one, as well as Ain't Nothing in the World. Those are her two number one hits. And those are fast, you know, tracks or up-tempo songs. But I think we all know her for Come Share My Love and Baby Be Mine and Love Under New Management. And That's What Love Is. Like, that's Miki Howard, you know. And I'm sure that if she is somewhere performing and she doesn't sing one of those songs, it's kind of like, no, your set is not over with yet. So it's quiet storm radio. And that's how I remember Miki. I remember her, and that's the beginning of her career. I think it was 1986. I think it was 1986, Come Share My Love. And then she had Imagination. And I think she worked with an up-and-coming producer or songwriter, you know, for the first time. I think it's y'all know I butcher names. LaMail Humes, maybe, who went on, and of course, oh gosh, he worked with a lot of people. I know that he worked with Stephanie Mills. I can remember his name showing up in some credits for Stephanie Mills, I believe. But anyway, maybe we'll talk about him some other time, but it's Miki. So I remember her for that. And Miki Howard to me, I'm sorry, let me turn this down. Miki Howard to me, when I think about Miki Howard, as I said, you know, quiet storm radio. But there's something about Miki Howard's voice to me. The voice, the laugh, and then her singing. It seemed like it all meshes together for me. You know, like when I look at this picture of Miki Howard, and I'm hearing right now in my head, Baby Be Mine. And I can hear her hitting those notes in Baby Be Mine. And to me, it's fun, it's laughter, it's joy in her voice. Even if she probably is going through a struggle, and this is me just talking out loud, even if it's her in a struggle or something that is just going on in her life. You know, when I listen to Miki and I hear her talk, you can't get over that laugh, you know, that I like so much about her. And at the same time, when I think about her voice and that laugh, there's also a side to Miki that says, watch it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I get that feeling like she's joy, and at the same time, she's cutthroat. You know, like, watch it. you know, like I have a feeling just as much as she laughs, she don't mind, you know, saying, back up, you know, like, this is not what you want. You know, that's kind of like how Miki comes off to me. So what I also find interesting about Miki's career is that, now I don't know, I heard her say this. Now, I don't know anything about Miki Howard's sales. You know, I know about the songs. albums, in their chart positions, but not her sales. And I find it to be very disappointing. I think it was before or after her Unsung, but I think it was before her Unsung, that she mentioned that the years that she was over at Atlantic Records, and oh gosh, what are the name of those albums? Is it Love Confessions? Love Confessions, I think, y'all, just help me out. I think it's Love Confessions, and I can't remember the title to the song, That's What Love Is, the album. No, Love Confessions, y'all, just hold on. I'm trying to remember. I don't know a lot about Miki Howard's stuff. No, Come Share My Love, Love Confessions, and then her self-titled album in 1989, the one that has Love Under New Management. I was surprised to find out that she didn't have a gold record over there. I'm just saying, that's what I understood her to say. She didn't, and I find that to be very disappointing, in her career, that she didn't get that gold record. But now, if I'm not mistaken, this album here, Three Wishes, this is the one that she definitely received a Grammy nomination. But I don't know if she won the Grammy or not. I know it's Grammy nominated, but I'm not quite sure she received that Grammy or not. I think this is on Peak Records. It is Peak. Oh, Lord, y'all. Peak Records. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so that's interesting. Now, also another thing that I found interesting about Miki Howard's career, and I'm not quite sure if this is true. I think she said it, and I don't have those other albums to prove if it's right or wrong, but I recall her saying that Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson's father, Joe Jackson, was her manager in the beginning of her career. I was like, well, maybe that's why the rumor got out that, saying one of her kids, is a Jackson. I don't know. Well, of course, she denied it, but I'm just saying that's the only reason why I think that maybe that was one of the things about her career, how they tied the two together, that Joe Jackson was her manager. I don't know if he was. I don't know the length of time that he was supposedly her manager. Miki Howard. Wow, I didn't think about that. Miki. Miki, you definitely did your own thing, didn't you? Because I was thinking about in her Unsung when she kept saying they tried to make her, Whitney Houston. She had worked with some of the writers or producers that Whitney Houston worked with in the beginning of her career. And so I think that they were trying to make her to be the next Whitney Houston. So she was saying Sylvia Rome was, always saying, Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston. She kept saying, Miki Howard, Miki Howard, Miki Howard. And watch where I'm going with this. When I think about artists like Vesta, Sheena Easton, Angela Winbush, Allison Williams, Karen White, we could throw Miss Chalet in there. What's the other lady name who came out? Deatra Hicks, Natalie Cole. From 1987 all the way up to 1990, or let's just say 89. Female artists during this particular time had a similar style. They packaged their albums in a similar way. They dressed in a similar style or fashion. And Miki Howard didn't do that. She didn't. Did I say Stephanie Mills? Well, Stephanie Mills was kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of that packaging in 1987 through 1989. But Miki Howard, I would say, well, I'll be. Miki Howard looked like she was probably more packaged like Regina Belle. Regina Belle, Stephanie Mills a little bit. She wasn't one of those, oh, I can't come up with the term that I want to use with Miki to describe this, to describe how she was not like them. They were more raw. Hey, I told y'all that. I butchered a word. Raw. Earthy. Miki Howard is not that artist. Miki Howard is more jazzy, laid back, smooth. Even on her up-tempo songs, she does not have that hit. You know what I'm saying? When I say hit, I'm not talking about hit songs. I'm talking about like she don't have that bass, that in your face sound that was emerging at the time with those particular divas. Think of, she did it a little bit, of course, with Ain't Nothing in the World, but that was the only time I could think of that she did it. Yeah. She was packaged differently. And it could be because of 1986. We have to think about the year 1986 now that I think about it. And what was happening in 1986 was Melba Moore out in 1986. Why am I thinking of the song Falling? Was Falling in 1986? It doesn't feel right to say it's a 1987 song. Falling doesn't sound like 1987. Do you think? I'm asking y'all like y'all. Does it? It's Falling in 1986. I mean, seven. No, it's not. It's not a 1987 song. It's definitely not. It's not a 1989 song. It's not a 1988 song. Falling has to be 1986, right? I think so. But anyway, so I'm thinking about Melba Moore. Vesta. What Vesta was 1986? Was her first song in 1986? I'm trying to give y'all a particular style because the style was not, you didn't get much of that. Think about Karen White. That's what I'm going to think about Karen White in 1988. And think about how she's packaged in that sound. Of course, we know it's LA and Babyface sound, but think about where it's going. I'll talk more about that in another video. Not now, but I'm trying to, of course, as you know, describe Miki Howard sound. Again, as I told y'all before, I never know exactly where I'm going with these. With my commentary, I just, like I said, it's a feel. You got to feel me. Feel me. Yeah. Whew. So it's 1986. And then I'm surprised because somebody somewhere in that Miki Howard camp, now that I think about it, and it could have been Sylvia Rome, they didn't wait to put out another record for her. And I'm so glad that they didn't. It seemed like now looking back on everything, and I wonder, if I had Miki Howard in front of me, I would probably ask her that question. I would probably ask Miki Howard, it seemed like there was a back and forth with you and Sylvia Rome as far as how you wanted to be packaged. But when you look back on the year 1986 and you look back on the year 1987, like you definitely, they didn't wait until 1986, 1988 to put out another record on you. Like they definitely went back into, the lab to, crank out another album. And when, a record company does that, that they're very serious about what they're putting, what they have in front of them. You know what? I recall Miki saying something about when she left Side Effect, right? And she got some producers, some writers together, in order to shop a deal. And I think it was Atlantic Records when they offered her the deal, the recording contract. It was like, okay, well, yeah, we'll sign you, but you got to ditch the writers and the producers. Like, no, this is not it. And so I think, of course, well, obviously she did, and that proved to show they knew what they had in Miki. And I definitely think, could have been bad demo, great artist. Do I need to title that? That'll be a good title. Bad demo, but great artist. Okay. And they obviously had to be serious about it because they went into the studio very quickly to put out Love Confessions. A record company just is not going to do that if they don't believe in you. The very next year, or maybe that was that Joe Jackson, if he was her manager at the time, they were definitely, I guess what I'm saying is that they definitely obviously knew what they had in Miki and where they wanted to go with her. Obviously, it had to be a case of, there was like, and obviously record company attitude at the time, I guess let's just say the early 80s, let's say 1980, if a record didn't do well, so to speak, but they really believed in the artist, they didn't blame the artist for a lack of record sales. They blamed themselves, and they were like, oh, okay, well, we know we have something. Let's keep trying. So, for someone like a Janet Jackson who releases her debut album and, they were like, okay, well, let's go back at it and try it again. And then they release another one. Okay, let's go back at it and try again until they struck gold. And speaking of gold, she didn't have a number one hit. She didn't have a gold album. So I think it's only right at this moment in time, since I have, let's just say, roughly 7 minutes left, to talk about Miki and her songs. Come Share My Love. I like the song so much because I love the message. I love the messages in Miki Howard's songs. Like there's definitely a message in her music. And Come Share My Love, when I think about it, you're not thinking sex when you think about Come Share My Love. You're definitely thinking, saying, hey, I like you. I'm interested in you. And I want you to share in my love. I love it. The same thing with Baby Be Mine. The theme is still consistent. She goes from saying, all right, well, come share my love. All right, let's get back to Baby Be Mine. You like the message. I've been trying to tell myself I don't need you. Trying to hold back the feelings I feel for you, knowing in the end there's no future for you and I. I love it. I love the message. That's what love is. Like Romeo and Juliet. Our love is stronger it will get. Like a hand in glove, nothing closer than this. That's what love is. You go, wow. Then you think about love under new management. Experience is a good teacher. It takes someone like me to know. All them little games people tend to play. Some call it love, but with me, it never had a chance to grow. The songs, the messages, the thing, and I said before, with love under new management, when I was talking about who did it better, whose version is better, hers or Kiki Wyatt. I love that message in the middle of the song when she starts to talk and she becomes Mother Wit in that song. And she talks about her experience in love. That's what I like about Miki Howard. Miki Howard is someone to me that you get, the full picture of her. And it's great to know that she does not mind speaking her mind. And because she doesn't mind speaking her mind, it doesn't look like she come off as guarded, about telling her story. Yeah, Miki Howard. hmm Another thing that I also find interesting about Miki Howard's career is that at the peak of her career, when it looked like it was about to go down into a decline, and she released, let's just say, albums after this one, because you could say this is her last major release that had the number one single, Ain't Nobody Like You. She continued to put out music. Regardless if it was successful or not, she continued to do so. And that's another thing that I admired about Miki Howard is that she did it. Some artists, and I still can't understand why, some artists didn't do that. They didn't. I don't know if it's because the record companies were not interested in them any longer, or maybe record companies were interested in them, but they decided they wanted to go in a different direction. I remember, who is that artist? I think it was Meli'sa Morgan. A record company, I think she said after her, was it 1992 album? I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was 1992. What was Meli'sa Morgan's album in 1992? It had the songs Through the Tears on it and Still in Love. I can't think of the name of it, but it was on Pendulum Records, I believe. Was it Pendulum Records? But anywho, no, she on Capitol Records. But anyway, I remember her saying too that a particular record company was like, "Hey, you sound great. We love you. You sound awesome. You just don't know what to do with you." And I don't know if she fell into that category. Some artists fall into that category, but Miki Howard continued to put out music. She has a song called You Made Me Love You, and I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, speaking of You Made Me Love You, I love a song on here called But I Love You. Very bluesy. I love it. Very bluesy, Southern soul type song, But I Love You. And that's another thing, but it's also the same. The thing that I liked about the fact that she continued to put out music, I also just felt like for those of us who've been with Miki recording contract as a solo artist from 1986 up to now, you listen to some of these songs and you go, oh, but where's Love Under New Management type song? Where's that Baby Be Mine's type song? And the song on here that I love a lot, I play all the time, is a song called, what's the name of that song? Nobody. Oh my gosh, I love the song on here on Three Wishes. It's called Nobody. It's my favorite song on this album. We might talk about Miki again because I want to keep these videos at 30 minutes. I'm trying to see, is there anything else I want to talk about Miki? Because if it deserves to have an hour, I'll give it an hour. You know, Miki Howard's videos, her music videos were always classy. They were. Baby Be Mine, very classy, very sophisticated. Yes, love it. Her video with Gerald Levert, that's what love is. Like very chic. You know, I mean, yeah, there's not a moment I think of in Miki Howard's career in that, let's just say from 1986 all the way up to 1992. Is this a 1992 album on Giant Records? Yeah, 1992. I like Miki's style. I love her style. I especially like her look in the video Ain't Nobody Like You. I love it. I like the concept of the video Until You Come Back to Me. I remember watching the video and saying to myself, like, huh, that's very whimsical. You know, like, huh? Like, it's almost like you want to dislike it, but then you go, but this is kind of a neat video. When I think she had fruit or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, kind of just moving around, and all you got was a headshot. But I do believe at that time maybe she was pregnant. Love Under New Management. Release Me. Like, again, every video she's put out, I've liked her style in the video. Like, I like her videos. Miki Howard. Okay, I think I'm done. So on that note, I want to say so much. I want to say thank you so much for you guys tuning in over here to People Love You. As I said, thank you for clicking on that thumbnail. Thank you so much for your support. I really, truly do appreciate it. Remember to continue to put your behind where your heart desires to be. Also, remember, whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. Thank you so much for your love and support, and I hope you can feel me giving it right back at you. And on that note, you know what I'm about to say. I'm about to say, see you next video. And until then, you all take care of yourselves out there and go check out Miki Howard. She's somewhere around performing. Go listen to her music and get into that quiet storm mood. All right. See you.